Hi there, Kelly with TTE Group, and today I'd like to talk about range and training safety. One of the things about the internet is it's given everybody an equal opportunity to make a fool of themselves, and gun owners are no exception. We should really hold ourselves to a higher standard and act more professional. Unfortunately, there are plenty of videos that prove otherwise. I have a little script here, some things I'm going to go into today. I'm going to cover them very quickly. Each one of these could really be its own video, but I need to touch a lot of topics very quickly. Number one, universal rules of gun handling. Various organizations have their own rules of gun handling. Here's at least the 4 everybody should know. I will not shoot with people who don't know a version of these rules. I consider them to be fundamentally unsafe. Number 1, treat all weapons as if they're loaded. It doesn't matter if you know it's unloaded, he knows it's unloaded. You should treat and clear that weapon each time. Treat it as if it's loaded and clear it each time. Number 2, never point your muzzle at anything you're not willing to destroy. Simply put, don't point your gun at anything except for your target. Number 3, keep your finger off the trigger until you're ready to fire. Again, very straightforward. It's simply a matter of not putting your finger in there until you're ready to do what you need to do. Number 5, know your target, what's around it, what's beyond it. In general, be situationally aware of what's going on around you. The kind of an addendum that I put onto that is not only know your target, but know the status of your weapon. Know, is it unloaded or is it unloaded at all times? I never want to assume. Again, I want to treat it as if it's always loaded, but it's better if I also have a mental check to fall back on. Personal protection. At the very minimum, everyone should have quality eye protection, quality ear protection. Glasses by themselves do not count. They don't cover the side of the eyes. Things will hit the eye socket, you'll lose an eye. It's not worth it for what you'll spend. You can find, these are what I use personally, are Revision eyewear soft flies with a prescription insert. Got them from Revision, had Walmart, I bought the prescription insert, had Walmart make the inserts for about $80. Again, all polycarbonate, wraps around, protects the eyes. Hearing protection, of course there are foam earplugs, there's electronic hearing protection, there's dumb muffs. I'm a real big fan of electronic hearing protection. It helps me keep that situational awareness, other people that are talking, various range commands. If you're spending under $100, the Howard Light Sport Impacts are probably the best money that you can spend. I've run those for several years. I don't have a set with me on this point in time. If you're spending over $100, my current choice is the MSA Sword and Supreme Pro X's. Again, money very, very well spent. Again, you can't replace your eyes, you can't replace your ears, protect them. When I'm at a range when I don't know people, I will actually go to the expense of wearing body armor. I've actually had a loaded weapon pointed at me twice now by 2 different children being trained by their parents at public ranges. Medical kit and training. You are far more likely to save a life with a medical kit than you are with a gun. Simple truth. You can have very, very extensive and complete medical bags. You don't need to necessarily have this much, but at the very minimum, you should always keep something on your person whenever you're shooting. I consider the basic items to be a tourniquet, something to seal a sucking chest wound, a compression bandage, and gloves. This right here is just a little surplus kit, and in it is a set of gloves and a single compression bandage. If I have to, I can use the plastic on this compression bandage as a chest wound to hold it in place, to seal a sucking chest wound. The bandage inside can be used as an emergency tourniquet and obviously as a compression bandage. You don't need to be fancy, but you do need to be prepared. Having the items is only part of it. You still need to get training. Okay. Range safety. Be situationally aware. There are other people, again, you're not going to know their skill set, what their level of safety are, especially if you shoot on private property, on public lands. You're going to have a wide variety of people. Some are actually competent, some, and unfortunately the vast majority are probably not. So be aware of the people that are around you. Again, I've been flagged with weapons at gun stores, ranges, public ranges. It's not a good thing. Be aware of these other folks. Always let people know where and when you're going. I prefer never to go shooting alone. This is a dangerous thing. If you get hit by a piece of a ricochet, it can kill you just as much as being shot. If you have somebody else there with you, hopefully they can get you medical training in time to save your life. As Andy Stanford says, if you get shot with a pistol, you can probably save your life. If you get shot with a rifle, you might only get a chance to say goodbye to that person. So let everybody know where you're going, okay? So be aware of that. Consistent range commands. I see a lot of guys trying to use the real cool guy, gas it up, make it hot, etc., etc. I keep my range commands simple and consistent. I want the same thing over and over. Load works for pistol and rifle. Unload works for pistol and rifle. Range is hot. Range is cold. That means that everybody should have, if it's hot, everybody can have a loaded weapon on the line. If it's cold, everybody's weapons need to be cleared, unloaded, and either grounded or back in the holster. Downrange, if I need to move downrange to paste a target or to give an instruction block, again, I want everybody to know, hey, we've got a person downrange. Everybody really should echo these commands back. It's just smart. Holster or let them hang. If you've got a hot weapon and we just need to do something real quick administrative, they can either put a pistol back in the holster, or if the rifle's on the sling, they can just let that rifle hang on safe. Safe training tools. There are a lot of great things out there. Pat McNamara, who is a well-known special operations instructor, said, I love my plastic pistol. I do not have to clean it or stow it out of my kids' reach. I can work natural point of aim, sight alignment, unorthodox firing positions, and movement drills, all with a solid chunk of plastic. A lot of plastic training guns are out there. This is a Black Hawk demonstrator. This is a Rings blue gun for a Glock 26. This is an Asp red gun for a Glock 17. Various prices. There are pros and cons to each one of them. I like having various versions because each one does something different. You can buy things like this is a training bolt for an AR-15 from Blade Tech. You just put this in here, it prevents anything from being in the barrel, and it cannot chamber a live round. If you're cheap, for instance, I took an old 10-round Glock magazine, painted it orange, and filled it with hot glue and pennies so I can have a magazine to practice my movement with without having the ability to actually load ammo. So that's real quick. There's some of the things. You can even, if you're willing to spend the money, buy, this is a Rings M4 short barrel rifle, and I went ahead and put a muzzle device on it so I could paint it orange and shorten it a little bit for transportation. But again, I've got a phony red dot, real set of airsoft sights, and a sling on it so I can work all of my demonstration that I need to. Okay. Be a safe and responsible gun owner example to everybody else. Okay? If you're out, try and leave it better than you found it. If you go out to a range of public land, private land, whatever, clean up after yourself. If you're out on public land, be a good example. Don't shoot public trash. Don't shoot washing machines, hard drives, TVs, computer monitors, appliances, things like that. Don't do that. Be a good example. It's unsafe and it ruins it for everybody. They have actually shut down 2 ranges in Colorado now because of the issues with keeping them clean and safe. Be consistent. Practice what you preach. If you're out on the range, you tell everybody, hey, you need to have eye and ears on, and you're not doing it, nobody's going to take you seriously. So be consistent. Be a professional when you're out on the range. Don't do stupid things. Again, going back to our universal rules of gun handling, if you see something and you don't have a safe backstop because you're out on the prairie or a flat area and you see something way off in the distance, don't take the shot. You can wait that 5 minutes to let whatever it is pass. It's a vehicle, animal, another person, before doing that. Don't be a bad example. There are plenty of people who are doing that, and I consider them very, very unprofessional. In the end, what this is all about, go home to your loved ones. If you do something dumb, you're either going to go to jail or you're going to go to the morgue, or maybe the hospital if you're really lucky. It'd be better if none of that happened. So be professional, do things the right and safe way, and everybody go home to the people that you love. This is Kelly from TTE Group. Thanks for joining us.